How's everybody doing? I'm sure it's just getting a little bit better every day, a little bit better every day. Some days you might take a little nosedive, perfectly fine. I just want to reassure you that when that happens, it doesn't mean it's because you decided to repeat, it doesn't mean you decided to go to clean eating, so things are getting worse. The body is always going to be rebalancing for as long as you live. Like I've been doing this for 10 years. Am I done with detox symptoms? No, they never go away. Every single time you take your body to a deeper level, every single time you backtrack and maybe go on vacation and come back and get back into your routine, you're going to feel a detox withdrawal symptom. So this is not a sign for you ever that it's not working. On the contrary, it's a sign that something is working. Sometimes it might be a sign that something needs to be tweaked, but never should it be like an opportunity for you to say, right, I'm done with this. I don't have to do this anymore. It is always about you just staying with it and being consistent and moving forward and taking a step back if that's what happens, but then taking a few more steps forward. All right. Today, we're going to talk about supplements. So remember, we removed the supplements when you did the first 9-day cycle. And the reason we do that, and the reason we want to give yourself a break from supplements, even though now we're talking about reintroducing them, and the major issue with supplements, and the reason why you might have heard you shouldn't take too many supplements, or the reason your doctor might have told you don't take supplements for too long, like take them for a few months and then take a break, is because the way that supplements are created, it's the way that they're made. 99.9% of supplements that you're going to find in Egypt and abroad, sort of like all the skincare products, anywhere in the drugstores, in the pharmacies, even in a lot of natural health food shops and stores, 99% of them are all synthetic. They're the synthetic version of the vitamin or the mineral that you are trying to supplement your body with. And on top of being a synthetic version, which is not always a bad thing, right? But on top of it being a synthetic version, it also, the little pill, the little capsule is filled with additives and fillers. So let's say you want magnesium and you go out and you buy your magnesium, which is a mineral. You go out and buy your magnesium supplement because you want magnesium. You're not just getting magnesium. You're getting magnesium, you're getting some titanium dioxide. Some of them have sugar, some of them have gluten, some of them have soy. Almost all of them have something called magnesium stearate, which is like a preservative in everything. So those are the problems. If you're somebody who's really diligent with your supplements and you're taking your magnesium and your vitamin D and your vitamin C every single day, you're getting a dose of these synthetic versions of the vitamins and minerals on top of the additives and the fillers, which are chemical toxins. So where does all that go? In your liver. Your liver has to deal with all of these. They are a toxin. So in our minds, we feel like we're doing something really good. We're giving our body something that's going to help it. But it's about we need that awareness again, like what am I actually putting in my body, right? It's like the skincare products. Nobody talks about it. You don't know. It's like all the protein like shakes and things that powders that people put in their morning smoothie, or they mix it with some water and drink. Do you really know what you're putting in your body? So it is about you just becoming more aware, and it is about you learning how to read the labels again. So in your guide, I've listed the biggest ingredients to look for in your supplements that shouldn't be in your supplements. And I've also given you where you can buy better quality versions of these supplements. So the ones I've listed are ones that use either a higher quality synthetic, or they derive them straight from food. So they're food source supplements. So the thing with supplements and why do we need them, you might ask, if we've created this really, really good foundation with food. You always have to start with a food foundation. Supplements, it's the word suggests, is something, it's an add-on, right? You supplement it to something that you're doing. It's not going to address whatever concerns or issues or conditions you have on their own. Nothing ever will without you addressing food first. Always. You create the right foundation with food, and then we tweak it and see, right, what is still not quite where we want it to be, just with food. And the reason it might not be where you need it to be just with food, and the reason why we feel like we have to supplement, is because supplements, like food, are supposed to provide your body with essential vitamins and minerals. And where do vitamins and minerals come from originally? They come from the soil. So they come from the soil where all the plants that we eat grow. Everything that's grown in the soil is supposed to have abundant amounts of vitamins and minerals that these plants absorb, and then you eat the plants. Who else eats the plants? The animals that we eat. So the soil is not just providing us with our vitamins and minerals, in theory, it's also supposed to be providing the animals with all the vitamins and minerals that we are then supposed to be getting from an animal, if you choose to eat the animal. But because of modern day agriculture all over the world, right? Since the agricultural revolution and this need to provide massive crops that yield massive amounts, the traditional ways of farming that protected the soil, right? They have like sort of cyclical ways that they farm and cyclical crops that they put in the soil. Like, it's not the same crop all the time. They've changed all of that. It's become mass production, mass scale, the same crops being grown over and over and over again, to the extent that now soil worldwide is depleted. It just doesn't have the right amounts of minerals and vitamins that it used to have 200 years ago, 300 years ago, so that even if you're eating something organic, and even if you're eating something 100% chemical free, and even if you're, drinking or eating a piece of meat from a hormone-free, beautiful cow, it's missing vitamins and minerals because the soil is lacking. It's not getting it from the source. So maybe supposedly we should be getting a certain amount of vitamins and minerals from our fruits and vegetables. We're not quite getting them, even the ones that are organic. So this is where we start to think of, right, what are the things that we need to add in order to boost our bodies? Because on top of our food being depleted even before we eat it, if we've been eating the traditional diets that all of us have been eating, whether it's Egyptian, whether it's American, whether it's European, whether it's a mix of both, you eat Egyptian and you eat like burgers and pizza and things that we've taken into our culture. And if you've been eating all the inflammatory foods that we've removed, that means your system is not properly also making use of whatever it is you might be eating, right? If you have been eating bread and cheese and Pepsi and coffee and alcohol and all of these things, on some level, you've got what we call leaky gut, which means that part of your intestines that is supposed to absorb nutrients from your food can't quite absorb it because it's got like these little holes in it. And instead of the nutrients going through your intestines and into your bloodstream where your body can make use, they pass through these holes in your intestines and just sort of leave the system. And the reason that you get leaky gut is from these foods. It like scratches the inside of your intestines and it makes your body unable to make use of nutrients. So even if you're eating the organic stuff, even if you're eating now, non-inflammatory foods, you are looking at a compromised system that might not be able to make use of all of these things. So you have, nutrients that are just sort of disappearing and not being absorbed into your body. So it's a combination of that, a combination of the bad bacteria in your gut, which is also created by inflammatory foods. If you have more bad bacteria than good bacteria, then it will eat away at the nutrients. And then the food itself is lacking to start with. So this is where we start to think of, right, let's start adding in some things to boost the body a little bit more. And then you have that list in your guide. I always recommend that with the supplements, especially, there's no worry if you're using the right brands, right? The ones that don't have the synthetic versions and the ones that don't have the additives and the fillers, you can start taking them all at once. And people are always like, but can I take all these supplements all at once? Is it safe? When you think about it, a supplement is just a single form of a vitamin or mineral. Vitamin D, magnesium, vitamin C, vitamin B12, zinc, whatever it is. When you eat a meal, when you eat all of the vegetables that you eat, when you eat all of the salads that you're eating all of these vitamins and many, many, many more at the same time. Your body is created to absorb and process and then eliminate many, many vitamins and minerals at the same time, because every single food that you eat, like every cucumber you eat has like 10 vitamins and minerals. Every apple you eat has like 10 vitamins and minerals. Every banana you eat has 10 vitamins and minerals. So the problem is not our body being able to process that amount of vitamins and minerals. The issue is processing synthetic vitamins and minerals and ones that have all the additives and things added to them. So don't worry about going out and buying 6 vitamins and then starting to take them all at once. There's nothing wrong with that. Your body is programmed to do that. Where you do have to be a little bit careful is what we're going to talk about tomorrow, which is the adaptogens, and then it's mainly the adaptogens, but we'll get to that tomorrow. So look at the list in your guide. And I recommend, especially for women, the ones to start with, the most important ones to start with are magnesium, because everybody's deficient in magnesium. It's sort of a worldwide epidemic. So magnesium is really important. Vitamin C is really important in terms of immunity. I would say the next one after that would be zinc, also in terms of immunity. And then because those of you who might have removed animal protein, then I would say add in B12. Start with those. And then, I mean, you can start with all of them, but if it could be a financial issue, maybe there's no budget to buy everything at the same time, maybe you just want to add one at a time, I would add those to start. Those are the most important ones for us to add in. If you're somebody who doesn't get a lot of sunshine, for whatever reason, you're indoors all the time and you don't get outside and get at least 30 minutes of sunshine every single day, I would also add in the vitamin D. So I want you, like how you did yesterday, you went and looked through your skin products to see the list of ingredients and to see what what of the products you're currently using has those ingredients that we want to eventually remove. I want you to go look at whatever supplements you already have and then share snapshots of those with me also, because maybe you've got something that doesn't need to be replaced. But I find that most people are consuming supplements of synthetic origin and fillers and additives and all of that. So if you've got something, before you run out and buy something new, show me what you've got. And again, I can tell you if that's good to go or you need to replace it. All right. Anybody have any questions? I knew magnesium are 3 types, but I only find magnesium oxide. Okay. Where did you find it? Where did you find it? You need magnesium glycinate. That's the best one, I would say, for women. Yeah. Show me, like, before you go out and buy stuff, ladies, make sure you read the guide, make sure you understand that, because a lot of this, once this program is over also, right, you want to be able to be doing this independently. So look, there's a long list that I've given you in the guide of the ingredients that shouldn't be there. If there's a type, like as with magnesium, there are different types, you're not sure which one you should get, let me know and I can help you with that. Question here, Rhonda. How do we know if the brands we have contain synthetics and fillers? Look at the list, like I just said, in your guide, compare it with the ingredients on your products. And if you're still not sure, then snap a photo and share it with me. Also, how do we know the right dose to take? For example, how much from magnesium? I always start by following the dose on the bottle. So follow that dose with something like magnesium specifically, because magnesium is meant to relax you. It's meant to lower your blood pressure. It's meant to help you sleep. So if you have a specific issue, let me know, and then we might increase the dose for that specific issue. But if you don't have a specific issue where that magnesium can specifically help you, or any vitamin, then stick to the dose on the bottle. And what about vitamin D if we are deficient? If you're deficient in vitamin D, you need to see to what extent you are deficient, because sometimes the deficiency can be so low that the only way to bring it up would be through injections. So you might have to do that. But for most people, sunshine, ladies, sunshine is the way to get vitamin D. get up every morning, and between 7 and 8 or whatever works best for you, go outside in the sun. If you have a balcony, if you have a garden, take a walk and get sunshine without sunscreen. Because a lot of us will go spend a lot of time in the sun, but we cover our body in sunscreen, and that defeats the purpose. Your body, your skin cannot absorb vitamin D if it's got sunscreen on it. So you need to go out into the sunshine without sunscreen for at least 30 minutes every single day. And then gradually your body will build up, that will fill up that deficiency. Still deficient, then you need to take a supplement. And you can do a supplement and go out to the sun every single day also. That's fine, that works. Does that answer your question, Randa? Is it better to take magnesium at night? If you are somebody who has trouble falling asleep, or if you have trouble staying asleep and deep sleep, then yes, take it about 1 hour to an hour and a half before you sleep. You'll know if it's, and if you're not somebody who has an issue with sleep, you'll know if it's better for you to take it at night. If you take it in the morning and then you feel yourself get a little bit drowsy, then you know that it's really relaxing you, then take it at night. Okay, perfect, Randa. Anybody else have a question about vitamins and supplements? Okay, nothing at all. I mean, this one is pretty straightforward. There's another question. What about collagen? I'm not a fan of collagen at all. I'm not a fan of like the collagen, the protein powders, all of these things that sort of just have popped up. I mean, vitamins and minerals, like collagen is important. It is naturally occurring in your body, but the way that the supplements have been created is not the best way. And there is a way for you to boost collagen naturally without taking a supplement, right? There is a way for you to consume it, whether from broth, believe it or not. If you make a good chicken broth, you get all that collagen that comes out of the bones. Believe it or not, fruits and vegetables are the way that you boost the body's ability to produce collagen, right? So that's why for many people, once you start eating differently, once you start eating all these fruits and vegetables, your skin kind of starts to look a little bit better. It starts to glow a little bit. And then you add the oils in, that's like plant nutrition from the surface. All of that stimulates your body to keep up the production of collagen. So personally, I don't believe that this is something that is important. I think you can get it from nutrition more than anything else. And the things that you can eat to keep it producing itself are sufficient as long as you're eating them continuously, and then not eating things that will break it down, right? So we know what breaks collagen down is sugar. We know that, right? We know collagen is broken down by processed sugar, by dairy, anything that has the word OSE at the end of it is a type of sugar. All of that breaks down collagen. So if you remove the reasons for why it breaks down, you don't need to supplement for it. Yeah, same thing, collagen powders, yeah. I mean, here's the thing, like even with supplements, right? And the understanding is that, you know, not for you guys, because now you're learning and unlearning, learning and relearning. But for most people, it's like, you know, what can I do? Like, what's the quick fix that I can do without having to change anything in my lifestyle? And that's basically what supplements are, you know, shake protein powders are, you know, all of these things are. It's like, but here, just do this and you don't have to do anything with your lifestyle. You don't have to address the root cause. You don't have to go and create a different foundation. So it really, and it gives you a false sense of security in a way, like, you know, I can still go and eat this and eat the junk and really not do anything. But as long as I'm taking my daily vitamins, as long as I'm taking my multivitamins, then I should be okay. Or, you know, my collagen is going to be fine as long as I'm taking the collagen powder. But even if you're taking the collagen powder and you haven't done something about the root cause as to why you're losing collagen, it won't work. It won't work. So this is an important part of this process, is understanding that all of these things are boosters to what you have to do the hard work first. You have to do, you know, that, you know, whatever it is it takes, you know, to create the change first. And then whatever it is you choose to add in is helping what you've already created. It's there to boost your hard work. It's not there to replace anything that you're doing. Anybody else have a question for me? Hania, can I take B complex instead of B12? Yes, you can. Yes. All right, ladies, we have 2 more videos this week, tomorrow and Thursday. Next week, there are no videos except on, I believe it's Thursday. We'll do it like it won't be a teaching video, it'll be like a congratulatory video for you all. So tomorrow and the day after are our last teaching videos. So if you have any last minute questions, you have anything you need to be cleared up about anything we've been doing at all, tomorrow, and you want to ask me in person, tomorrow and the day after would be the day to do that, because next week is where you are on your own. You are learning how to, live this way without, we're taking one level of support away, which is the daily videos. And then the last video is not really going to be a Q&A time. It's really going to be about, celebrating all of you and celebrating you completing the program. So think about if there's anything, about the foundations of what we're doing, about the theory of what we're doing, about your symptoms, about anything that you want to ask me tomorrow and the day after, please come in prepared with those. Noor, after the program, breakfast should always be smoothie. If we want to change any other ideas, is tofu okay? Tofu is not okay. I don't recommend any kind of soy products because they interfere with your hormones. Soy is also a genetically modified crop. It is something your body doesn't recognize. Breakfast should always be, from when you wake up until noon, it should always be fruits or vegetables. Always. You get to decide. I recommend sticking with lemon water and celery juice as much as you can with the celery juice if you can find, a good quality. You can start to alternate the smoothie with some other recipes from the Clean Eating Guide. If you're doing the hybrid cleanse, there's some great potato breakfast recipes in there. If you just want to make a big fruit salad and have it for breakfast, you can do that. But always, 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 because the morning time is after your liver has been resting and regenerating, to answer your question, why until noon? Because those 5-6 hours when you're awake is when the liver is just waking up. It cannot be hit or shocked with protein, fat, or grains. It wants incredible nutrient-dense foods, but it wants the foods that it can digest easily. And in terms of your energy and in terms of your cortisol levels, same thing, very, very important. If first thing in the morning, you're eating high fat, high protein, high grains, this raises your blood sugar levels, and which raises your cortisol levels. At noontime, based on our body's, biological clock, is when you can start to do that. You've given your body that initial push in the morning. You've helped the liver wake up without shocking it. Cortisol levels naturally start to go down around noon. Like your body has naturally high cortisol in the morning because the body knows that you're waking up and starting your day. So it wants to give you a natural push of energy. By noon, the cortisol level starts to go down. So when you give a little bit of animal protein, you give a little bit of the good fat, that's all right to do at 12 onwards. Yasmin, then my dermatologist had told me to alternate between the Black Lotus and pharmaceutical brand sunscreen. Is that reasonable? What was his reason for that? Why alternate between them? What was his reason? Go ahead.
Her reason was, oh, sorry, do you want me to answer? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think she said that the natural sunscreens weren't as effective. Okay. She said the natural sunscreen so do work, but it's probably best to alternate just to ensure that there's more protection, because the sun is, well, I mean, everything else that is said about sunscreen and the sun is in part of that argument.
Okay, you're chopping up a bit. So we need to look at the origin of this argument. So he's a dermatologist, right? So he's just naturally going to be coming at this from a completely different perspective, right? And you get to choose the perspective that works best for you, but you need to understand both perspectives. So as a doctor, a dermatologist, he's been taught that the sun is going to damage your skin, and that the way to protect your skin from the sun is to use sunscreen. So he just simply doesn't know and doesn't believe, right? Like the same way that I used to go to dermatologists for 25 years and none of them told me that the way to get rid of acne is to remove dairy and eggs and processed sugar. No conversation around that, not a single one. Nobody knew that that's what you need to do, and it's not their fault because they're not taught that. So they're not taught the alternative way. You get to choose which way you want to do, but keep in mind that he's not telling you something wrong, and he's not understanding. It's just they learn it completely differently. But what we do know now is that the sun is not as dangerous as they've made it to seem. Skin damage doesn't happen from the sun alone. Skin damage, if we're talking like pigmentation, or if we're looking at like wrinkles and all of that, that only happens when internally your internal terrain is primed for that. And so the sun doesn't just damage your skin if you're healthy on the inside. The things that can weaken your skin on the inside, we know that sugar ages the skin. It breaks down collagen, so it creates wrinkles. Pigmentation is something called dermatoxin, which is basically an overflow of toxicity from your liver, so it shows up on your skin. We know acne is the skin reacting to eggs and dairy and processed sugar. So the sun is not the one that's creating the problem. It's our internal terrain. What might happen with the sun is that if you have an internal terrain that is greatly compromised, it's going to accelerate what the sun might do to your skin. But I haven't worn sunscreen in 10 years. Literally haven't worn sunscreen in 10 years. I don't have wrinkles. I don't. Look, I'm 49. I don't have wrinkles. I don't go out into the sun and worry about the sun. I don't use Botox. I don't use fillers. I don't use any of it because I figured out the root cause. So and here's where the sun might be a problem, is if you get burned, if you get a sunburn. Okay. So getting a sunburn, yes. And repeatedly getting a sunburn is problematic, because that's where, yes, that's literally like your skin gets crunched and burned, right? And getting a sunburn repeatedly is what raises your risk for skin cancer. So that's what we worry about, is sunburn, but not regular everyday exposure to the sun. So if you're just going about your daily routine, you're running your daily errands back and forth, you're not going to get a sunburn from that. Nobody does. Sunburn happens is when you sit in one spot for many, many, many hours repeatedly, day after day after day after day, like when you go to the beach, or like when summer first happens. And the way around that is to train your skin. We talked about that. So if you feel like, you need to understand why he's recommending the sunscreen, like what for, especially if he's recommending it on a daily basis. When you're out in the sunshine, when you're out in the beach and on the beach, and you know you're going to be there for many, many hours, you haven't had time to train your skin to be in the sun, then yes, use the sunscreen, because you don't want to get sunburned, and because sunburn is what we worry about. And even then you want to use natural sunscreen, because if you're using the chemical sunscreen, it's imagine this, like you're slathering on chemicals, and it's different even than putting like a facial cream, because sunscreen is so thick and it's like meant to create a barrier. So you have this thick toxic cream on your skin and you go out into the sun, it's like you're frying your skin with chemicals. If you could imagine that, you're literally frying your skin with chemicals on top. So this is for you to make up your mind, or for you to make the choice for yourself. If the fear is sunscreen, that is sunburn, then use sunscreen and use natural. If you are going about your day, even when it's like I go out into the sun for 30 minutes a day without sunscreen, like sunscreen blocks the vitamin D that we desperately need. And we need to be able to, and that, I mean, I just don't know how to explain this. Like the sun is so important. It is literally the giver of life. The reason people are getting skin damage and they're getting skin cancer, and everybody's using sunscreen, right? Everybody knows been using sunscreen. The rates of skin cancer have only increased. hasn't prevented skin cancer. So we need to look at why. And so alternative practitioners and alternative doctors are looking at why. And the reason why is a weakened terrain, mainly from processed foods, very much from people using seed oils all the time. Canola oil, sunflower oil, corn oil, they really create they go rancid inside your body. They oxidize inside your body. When you mix that with the sunshine, it shows up on your skin. So you need to be able to make that decision for yourself, Yasmin, knowing everything that I've just told you. Sometimes I feel I want another smoothie after the first. How soon after the first, Randa? Like if it's 2 hours after, that's okay. Yasmin, also is natural shea butter a good source for face moisturizing? I find shea butter to be a little bit thick. Like it's great for your body, but a little bit too thick for your face. If you go into the skin section and you do the oil cleansing method, that's all you need to do. You don't have to add anything after you do that. It's actually a really simple method because it's like 3 steps in one. You clean, moisturize, and like use serum in one process. So try doing that. Randa, so coffee also after 12 p.m. because I missed your coffee story. If your coffee is, if you're going to, let's say your coffee used to be coffee and milk, for example. So milk is a fat. So if you're going to replace the milk with almond milk or oat milk, those are also fats. So then ideally you want to do that around, I would say 11 or 12, because you don't want to have caffeine in your body too late in the body either. If your coffee is just a black coffee, okay, yes, it's going to raise cortisol levels. We don't want it early on in the day, but at least it doesn't have the fat element in it. Then I would say if it's just black, between 10 and 12. But if it's got any fat in it, 12 onwards also. You're welcome, Noor. Yasmin, I tend to burn easily, even in the low risk hours, just driving from one place to another, I get burns on my arms. Then use the natural one. Right? Because every single time you're going to apply sunscreen, that's a chemical. Like if your arms are like this, like if in the car, just like sizzle, right? Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. You don't want that. And then, I don't know, maybe what you want to try also, Yasmin, is if you have like the space, the balcony, the garden, whatever, is to train your skin a little bit every day. So maybe you want to go out to the sun every day. The first day, go out 10 minutes, with your arms completely bare. And then the next day, go out 20 minutes. And then the next day, go out 25 minutes and maybe do that very gradually and see if that makes a difference for you. Oh, let's see if I have here. On food, can I take only 5 days and move to hybrid? For the plans, ladies, like as long as you're not consciously choosing the 9 days for the healing benefit, like you're not consciously choosing the whole cycle for the healing benefit, you can jump back and forth between all the plans, right? If you're at a place where you feel really good and one day you want to do clean eating and one day you want to do hybrid, you want to do hybrid for 5 days, you want to juice for 3 days, like once you feel really, really good and confident in this way of eating, and you're not consciously trying to cycle through the 9 days to heal something specific, you can't do it wrong, right? You can choose your own sort of cycles and choose your own combinations of the different types and how many days you want to go through it. So yes. You're welcome, Alia. Anybody else have any questions for me? None of you shared photos of your products yesterday, so I'm assuming you figured it all out and most of them have to go, or you didn't do it. And if you didn't, then please do. If you have a question, do the same thing with your supplements today so that you can get that cleared up, even if you're not going to take action on it today, right? Even if you're not going to go and buy new supplements today, you want to have the right answer. You want to have the information for when you decide to do it. Alia says, I lost 3 kilograms. And how do you feel, Alia? Where is she? There she is. How do you feel beyond the weight loss? lighter and better. Amazing, amazing. Wonderful, ladies. Let me see. I think I keep seeing something. I'm not sure. Healing from within. Yes, you are definitely healing from within. Love it. That's how it's done. That's basically how it's done. All right, ladies, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you all here tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye.